And Manny, I don't know where you went, but welcome back. So today, our focus is on a topic that is near and dear to my heart: people pleasing. As a recovering people pleaser, I've written a lot about obligatory behaviors over the last 25 years of my life. People pleasing includes things like us agreeing to do things we don't really want to do. Saying yes before we have an understanding about the level of commitment that will be required. And did I just see Gail? Welcome back, Gail. Sorry, I didn't see you back yet. It's awesome. She just pleased me without knowing it. The third one is making appearances at events with a laundry list of excuses as to why we can't stay. The worst part of all of that is in each of these scenarios, we experience this high level of anxiety before, during, and after. So what's the point? And why do we do it? There's little joy in obligatory behaviors. People pleasing, though, is this persistent struggle we have on our human journey. It's also one of the best life lessons we'll ever learn. It took me a very long time and a lot of work to be able to say no and be okay with no without giving explanations. I used to say yes to everything. When I lived in Colorado, I was a big part of the community, had a business there, did a lot of work with the city. And, I was invited to things I hardly knew the people of, right? And I always felt I had to show up. Show up. But it was overwhelming at some point. And once I really understood what was happening, I realized that the number of times I really enjoyed myself was about this many. And the number of times that I was showing up with gifts or whatever just to make an appearance was huge. And I wanted to be happy at the things I attended and still feel good about sending a gift and a card and just saying congrats or happy birthday without feeling the need or being obligated. At first glance, people-pleasing appears as this impulse we have to care for other people. Or perhaps we're trying to avoid conflict, so we're seeking harmony in a relationship just to keep things calm. Or maybe, just maybe, we feel guilty about something and we're trying to rectify the guilt or fix a problem by showing up and thinking it'll all go away. But our need to please others overshadows our true nature and our true desires, which actually creates a spiritual emptiness rather than fulfillment. And it's this illusion that we have about people pleasing because it provides this false sense of security and belonging. And yet, it often presents us with just the opposite in terms of what our experience actually looked like. And the saddest part is we're the ones who initiate the unhappiness and the unpleasantness in our lives. We're the cause. Because we didn't say no, or no thank you, or I'm sorry, I won't be able to. Period. End of story, no other sentences. Just stop there. And when we don't do that, we betray our truth just to gain favor in other people's eyes. I want you to see it as creating your own personal heartache, making a weary spirit within you, and also us subdividing from our true nature and our outside need for validation. We're supposed to be authentic, but people-pleasing doesn't allow for that. From a spiritual perspective, it's important to understand that any relationship we build that does not allow us to be our true, authentic self is not sustainable or healthy. If you're not in a relationship because you really want to be done. Just be done. I'm talking friendships. I'm not just talking relationships, romantic relationships. I'm talking even friendships. If they drain you and you're just people-pleasing, stop them, because you're not helping your spirit. You're actually wearing your spirit down. Our desire to seek approval is like us taking this detour from a deeper journey we're here to experience on this earth. Because ultimately, true contentment for us is going to come from our ability to align everything we do, our decisions and our actions, with that inner compass. That part of us that we came into this world with to help us along our journey. We don't need external validation. That's only our ego that tells us that. Many of the sacred texts, no matter which one you read, they have a statement, and it's similar to this. It's a question, and they ask us to think about this. So I picked one that I thought was simple. It says, how does it profit a person to gain the world at the expense of losing their soul? Are there any benefits to us compromising ourselves to that level? Probably not. Moving beyond people-pleasing is our return to authenticity. That's who we are at the core of our being. We're people without fear. We're people without the need for social conditioning. We're people that don't have the need for approval. And it's not us being rebellious when we say, well, I'm not going to be a people pleaser. It's not an arrogance. It's aligning yourself to what you need in that moment, and whether you have the capacity to put something else in your path without compromising yourself. When we were children, we were likely taught in an early age what it's like to be a people pleaser. We were told what society expected from us. We were told what adults expected from us, our grandparents, our parents, our siblings, our aunts and uncles, all of it. Our need to be people pleasers started with achieving approval by the society rules for how we're supposed to show up. When we were born, we didn't have any of that. When we were 1, 2, and 3, we didn't care. About age 4, everybody started putting the walls up around us. No, 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 you can't do that. And yes, we all need boundaries. I'm not saying we don't need boundaries, but there's a difference between boundaries and being asked, do you think you made yourself look good today? Do you think we're proud of you today? Are you embarrassed for what you did today? Those are all things that shamed us into being people pleasers. And as we matured and assumed other roles, it became necessary for us to lose complete sight of ourselves and who we really are. Those of us who are in my age range know what it was like for decades when we said, we're just trying to find ourselves. Where do you think that came from? It came from losing ourselves to begin with. It's why we did it. Oh, I'm taking a trip. I got to find myself. Did any of us find ourselves on those trips? Because I sure didn't. It took staying home and looking in the mirror. No trip made that possible. In his book, Talks on Truth, Charles Fillmore says, over the entrance to the Greek temple was written, know thyself. And it's always written over every door that opens from ignorance to wisdom. Know thyself. Know who and what you are, where you came from, what you are doing here, and where you are going. And if you want to know all of this, just meditate on 2 words, I am. Because that's what it meant. I am. That's enough in itself. I am. It takes courage for us to be willing to walk a path of authenticity and to be willing to be okay with disappointing others. That is simply okay. And it requires faith and trust for us to believe that those relationships that were intended for our highest good do not require us compromising our right to live our truth. If you're having to fake it to be in a friendship or relationship, then you've compromised your own truth. Living our truth requires setting healthy boundaries with a compassionate heart, not a mean one, discovering over time that when we share our authentic self, it's the best gift we give ourselves and others. You know, when I first returned from my second ordination and went back to school, I found those old behaviors coming up. Because sometimes my authentic self is a little too much for people. I'm well aware. But I don't really care either. Because it's who I am. And when I'm in my authentic self, I'm happy. And I don't think I offend people. I don't think I say mean things to hurt other people. But I found myself wanting to fit back in that box of people pleasing. And on the day I got my second ordination, I remember thinking, I'm free! Again, I'm free. So it does come back up. It comes back up, but we have to acknowledge it so we don't stay there. There are a lot of benefits from people pleasing, like inner peace, because we don't feel like we're living some duality. You know how many people go home and say, oh, thank God we're home, I can finally be myself. Right? Okay, we shouldn't be any different outside our homes as we are in them. That's a fact. And unfortunately for most of you, I'm not. It's probably better if I was. But it's important to understand that when we're truly in that place of inner peace, we don't have any resentments. There's no one to be mad at. There's nothing to be upset over except circumstances, but not people. Our connections with one another become more genuine. And because they're built on mutual understanding and respect, not our ability to perform against other people's expectations. And that's when, by the way, we learn to accept the imperfections of all relationships without trying to fix them to please somebody else. We have purpose. We're free. We don't have to have that burden of making everybody happy instead of making our soul's call the most important thing. When we eliminate people-pleasing practices, we place our trust in divine wisdom and the universe, and we allow ourselves to unfold just as we were meant to be. It's knowing that we're being guided and loved, not for what we can do for other people, but for who we show up as. The irony in all of this is that the more we honor our own truth, the more we actually serve others from a place of wholeness. The more we show up in this lifetime with that wholeness, with that healthy heart, with that love. And when people pleasing falls away, what remains isn't selfishness, it's self-fullness. We give not from obligation or fear, but from the overflowing abundance of a soul that's at peace. I believe our life can be a testament to authentic living if we're willing to release this need of ours and to open our hearts to a deeper, more sacred journey, a simpler journey. We're not meant to please everyone. We're meant to be ourselves. And when we're ourselves, we are vessels of love and truth and light. So I'm going to ask all of us to make a commitment to allowing our spirit to shine with the confidence that we know our soul's worth no matter what anybody has to say. And in this way, we will all walk in freedom, blessing everyone around us, not with the gift of compliance, but rather with the radiant gift of our true self. Let's review our lessons for today. Moving beyond people-pleasing requires us to stop seeking external approval. We are loved, we're worthy without it. Number 2, to honor the needs of our spirit and allow the soul's journey to unfold. Number 3, to learn to live authentically, to risk disappointment and honor our truth. And number 4, to accept imperfection in relationships and become a vessel of love and light. Our affirmation is, I move beyond people-pleasing to authentic living. Let's say that together. I move beyond people-pleasing to authentic living. And our quote is from Mel Robbins. I loved it. It says, people-pleasing has nothing to do with the other people and everything to do with your insecurities. Learn to love and support yourself, and you'll stop worrying about pleasing everyone else. Let's take that in. So we pause for a moment to say, thank you, God, for the ability to be reminded from time to time when we are compromising our soul's journey by making everyone else happy. May each of us take our light and nurture it in a way that allows it to be brighter, so our service in this world and how we show up is without the mask. May we all find and affirm our true being, and so it is. Amen.